Hello and welcome, folks. Time for some more Legacy over here. We're gonna be continuing testing this list, which I have been pretty happy with, but not quite ready, I think. It's pretty close though. I think it's getting close. I have been pretty happy with the main deck. I think that 4 Dryads were definitely unnecessary, and the second copy of Sylvan Library can potentially help shore up a couple of matchups, really. And it just helped the overall consistency of the deck to prevent flooding, etc. But what we're going to be trying out today is I have been very unimpressed by Veil of Summer in the list. It was pretty tough to leverage, and it was honestly kind of awkward very often. I was thinking about it more as a card against discard spells, more so than a card against counter spells, because counter spells usually don't really beat us unless we just don't have enough gas. But every single one of our threats kind of needs to get Force of Will. Like, your opponents will very often just Force of Will your turn 1 Reclaimer. So when they're Force of Will in your turn 1 Reclaimer, they also need to force your library. They also need to force your Dryad. You know, like at some point they simply just run out of cards if they are 2-for-1-ing themselves over and over again. So I wasn't finding so much of a struggle there, but I was thinking about Veil more as an anti-discard, anti-combo card against stuff like Ant, TES, etc. Although TES doesn't really play any discard spells anymore, so it's not even that good there. So what we're going to be trying out today is going to be a 3rd copy of Skyclave Aberration, the sideboard, and a Shifting Ceratops in place of both of those Veils of Summers. So we're going to see how that works out, but the rest of the cards have been fine. Spirit of Labyrinth is still a question mark, and so is Tabernacle. So both of these are still in the testing process. We're going to see how they perform, but yesterday we managed to 5-0 my second league with this deck, so it's pretty exciting when you get a brew going and you manage to do some stuff. Choke is not very good when you're trying to do Dryad things. I'll say Marine on predict. Boil plus Dryad is not that big of a deal. You get to simply like cast the cards whenever you want to, but Choke just sits there in place, so like eventually you're just going to get yourself with the Dryad. So hey Darwin Fosh, how's it going? But yeah, if you're wondering why we're playing so much Legacy, it's because of the Mana Trader Series. The Mana Trader Series is an event that takes place every month, and this month is gonna be Legacy. This hand is perfect. The only thing that would make this hand better would be a basic forest, so we can't get wastelanded, and then we immediately find the forest. So clearly this hand was perfect from the get-go. If my opponent aces this, that's kind of fine. And bolting it would be a lot more annoying, which is what they do. Flagstones in every format, yeah. I mean, I made it spike already, right? So I wanna continue getting the value, you know. That's an Arcanist. I think I'm going to spend this turn to play a Library. And I'm going to... Maybe they'll daze this. And then next turn we can plow this. We can plow plus Thalia. If they get back the Bolt, I don't care too much. Like, they would need to have a cantrip, which means that they're going to be using mana here. Which is fine with me. Throw back to Musasabi, losing Mox Simis because of Dryad plus Choke. Yeah, exactly. It's a lot harder to make work, you know. You can make Dryad plus Boil work. It's pretty straightforward, but not so easy to make Choke plus Dryad work. It is what it is. Again, it's not like I struggle so much against the blue decks anyway. In fact, the blue decks are kind of what I'm excited to be facing. We were on the draw this matchup, so that makes things a little bit tougher. They're gonna bolt me? Wow, that's so aggro. I feel like I want to shuffle. Which kind of sucks because it enables their wasteland, but it's fine. We already have another land. Extravagant Scene it for 2. Doesn't do anything. XZMC3, thank you for the follow. Have I tried stage or deck depths? No, I have not, but it's not what I want the deck to be doing, really. Would love to find an apparition here. Apparition is probably your best draw here. It might waste me. They do. Plow, Goif, waste green source. We can also Scene it for 1 here. We can Scene it for 1 after making Reclaimer a 3/4. The problem is then we get beat down by this Goifo. Oh, did I fuck up the sequencing? I think I fucked up the sequencing here. Because now we get got by days. They can pay for it. Okay. Not punished. Still looking to draw Operation. Brainstorm in damage step. Classic. Second Flagstones. So I guess I'm gonna have to, yeah, we're gonna have to do this because I don't want my opponent to be able to wasteland me off double white. So I have to go get planes. As long as we get to deal with this stupid Oko, we're fine. Oh, we just can't deal with this motherfucker. They probably have to plus on my Reclaimer. Because it's kind of the only answer. They could give me a food and steal my Reclaimer. That's also a line available to them, but that actually costs them the Oko. This is a close game. This is a close game. I think that we would have won very easily if we had been on the play. But the fact that we were on the draw meant that my opponent was able to answer my Reclaimer in time and everything. Made everything a lot tougher. Which kind of sucks. Wasteland my Flagstones. Interesting. Do you have a Stifle? If they do have Stifle though, like that's their turn. Just get the other planes. That's a card. If we pay 4, we play Raminap, we get another basic. I guess we have to, right? We of course get Super God by days, but we can't play around it. Can I even afford to get another basic? I think I might not be able to afford to get another basic, actually. I think we're just gonna play Savannah. Because if I get another basic, I'm just dead to bold. You also might force here. They do force. Okay, no cards in hand. We're double blocking on the mandrills. Down to 1. Don't have something. They did have something. Shit. That is something. Okay. Let's go to game 2. I like this. I like Apparition. If we had found Apparition at any point during that game, it would have been perfectly fine. We just didn't, which kind of sucks. Prime Time can also go. And Spirit of Labyrinth is interesting against Arcanist. We have access to triple Apparition now, so I don't know how excited I am about Spirit of Labyrinth. Maybe we can do this little split. Does this deck need a Questing Beast? No. Questing Beast is It's a little bit too much. Basically, shifting Ceratops is Questing Beast. Ceratops being able to gain reach is a big deal too. It can't be elked. Can't be countered. Ceratops is the card that you're looking for. That game was really close. That game was really close when my opponent played the turn 3 Yoko. We still had outs, but we just didn't find them in time, even with the library going. C'est la vie sometimes. This hand is pretty solid. Like it, like it. No force. Probably means that they have a bolt. Wooded foothills. Hey, Rancid Flesh, how's it going? Oh wow, nothing? Wow, they just don't have it, chat. They don't have it? They don't have it, chat. Splinter Twin. Splinter Twin. Splinter Twin. Opponent desperately looking for Lightning Bolt. Rightfully so, this guy's about to win the game if he doesn't get answered. Specifically this turn. That's a Delver. They might have Submerged though. They might have Submerged, so they might still have answers here. What am I getting here? Wasteland? Wasteland does sound pretty sexy. Waste your red source. Ponder. No need to path this guy just yet. We can take one hit. AG Force, how's it going? Time to crack a cold one? Hell yeah. They chose to shuffle, looking for lands. Somebody's looking for lands over there. Sure, let's actually get the Temple Garden here in play. Because if my opponent wastes it, I am pretty happy about it. Now the question is, do we get another Flagstones or... Sweet. Because now we can get Wasteland. I think I'm going to get the last Flagstones though. That's pretty solid. So that blanks the Delver. So I'm just gonna play... Let's play Scavenging Ooze here. Which gets forced. Pitching Days. Let's get a Forest. And let's say go. Well, good thing I didn't go for the Wasteland line. Because they already had a land and they had another cantrip, so good thing that I continued developing my board instead of going for something else. Do I play chess? I mean, I'm not good. I know how to play the game. I know how to play the game, but I'm not particularly good now. In case that's what you were asking. I think I'm gonna get Valakut here. We're gonna SnowNath for Dryad. So they have to force this. Dace doesn't do it. Here's Dryad. That's a dead Delver. A Dedelver. Dedelver. Because it's dead. You know? We can even path ourselves to get a zombie and a trigger, which is pretty cute. Looking for advice on how to learn, so I'm asking everyone. I think there's a website that's pretty big, which is like chess.com or something like that. Chess.org maybe. I think that website it's all about learning chess, so maybe that's where you should be looking. I'm saving this Path to Exile for Hooded Mandrills. Hey Kusan, how's it going? Goif. Sure. Goif requires 2 triggers to die, so it seems like a fine one to path. Let's see if they have a basic. They probably don't. They don't. And here we just win. Oh, whoops. I guess I don't need to show them Vesuva. I also don't need to show them Ceratops. I guess I'm gonna show them Ceratops for value. Well, I guess that we can't activate if we haste. But yeah, I actually miss lethal here. They should win right here, though. We are done. This will teach my opponent to have the correct brainstorm art. That will teach him. Why are you still cantripping, opponent? Why are you still cantripping, opponent? Can we move on to the next game? There we go. They maybe have a Wrath effect in the deck. Oh, that must be it. Yeah, exactly. They're probably finding the blue, green, red Wrath effect. That's the one that they were looking for. That's the one that we're looking for. On the draw. Would I rather Thalia or would I rather Spirit? Let's actually do this on the draw. It's gonna be really tough to leverage. Like, that's what we saw in the previous game, right? When Delver is on the play, they get to do all the things first, which really puts you on the back foot starting from turn number 1. So with them being on the play, I think I'd rather have access to Spirit of Labyrinth, which can potentially lock them out of their cantrips and stuff, while Ladder is going to be pretty tough to leverage. Interesting, Ken. I think this is a keep. We are definitely going to be looking for stable mana. That force on the ooze earlier made no sense to me. Yeah, I kind of don't agree with it either. They can daze this if they want. Snow cover the plains is kind of exactly what I was looking for. Because it basically time walks them. Like, they were hoping to bolt my Reclaimer on one. And now we get to do the exact opposite of what they tried to do. Now if they play an Arcanist on 2, we get to plow it. And we take it from there. And this is not a good use of Brainstorm. I mean, they could get more value from this Brainstorm, is what I'm trying to say. Is there somewhere I can find a complete list of all cards for Amulet and Greenware Reclaimer, like all possible tech in one big list? No, Sour Eggnog, but it is something that I've been thinking about doing. Maybe I should do it at some point. So now we get to play Thalia off the basic forest, which means that we stay at parity. That was a pretty bad draw. Pretty bad draw. They could go Land Bolt into... what's his name? But into Brainstorm, which would be bad for us. Which is probably what's going to happen here. But if we find a white source, we get to Apparition this Dread Horde. So if they pay for this Brainstorm, that's their turn. Which seems like a fine exchange for us. And if they do that, then what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to Wasteland them. So they continue to be behind because of the Thalia, and then I think I'm just going to see that 4-0. I mean, Leviathan, I have been playing against like trophy leader Delaware players, and I have been beating them. This allows me to pull a little bit ahead, even though I would really like to find a second white source so I can Apparition the Arcanist and just move on with my life, but unfortunately we can't. I'm gonna flip that. Wait. They Brainstormed, but they didn't flip their Delver. How is that a thing when they have 5 cards in hand? How? How? Why? Weird. Okay, so I think we're gonna Spirit and then waste their red source again. They might force this though. Yep. Pichinoko. We need them to not find a cantrip, unfortunately, which is really tough to do. This is good though. Okay, they use the Upkeep Delver trick, Smart of them. They're carton laden. Thank you for the raid there. Appreciate it. Welcome everybody from their stream. Playing a little bit of legacy here. Do I slam the ramming up or do I slam the apparition? If this ramming up resolves, I think we have to slow them down. And I'm killing the Dread Horde because we can slow down the Delver with Shifting Ceratops next turn. They could have a Bolt, which is even more of a reason to have eaten the Dread Horde Arcanist. They did have a Bolt. Super weird. Still don't flip the Delver. I hope it's because of their finding lands, not because they're finding Okos. Delver is never flipping, apparently. They have one card in hand, which is probably not a Daze, because otherwise, like, this was a pretty succulent Daze target for them that last turn, so it's not a Daze. So I guess that means that I'm ramming up and we waste their green source. The red source, sorry. Four, five, six, seven. So we need to draw a plow or something. Apparition. So now we're just dead to the Delver. Man, again, so close to stabilizing. Both times we won the games that we were on the play. We lost the ones where we were on the draw. Also, why do they have surgical extraction? Yeah, we're just dead here. I wonder if I should play one of the spiders because of Delver and flyers, I guess. That might actually be even better than... That might actually be even better than Ceratops. Just like a fucking Arasta or something. No, Skylasher is bad because it just dies to... Skylasher is bad because it just dies to a single lightning bolt. So Skylasher doesn't really achieve anything. Rough. Skylasher is, for those of you that don't know, it's this guy. Pretty good against Delver specifically, but... I know nothing about Legacy. It feels like Wastelining them hurts you this game more than you are not. We don't know. Like they had two cards in hand, and they could have been lightning bolts, and they simply hadn't had the time to deploy them. The way that they tapped their mana to cast the Goyf made me think that it might not be lightning bolt. But I have to also be thinking about the potential that I might die to lightning bolt off the top, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. It's not like I would have been able to stabilize anyway, right? Like I was always exactly one turn behind. In deploying my cards and interacting with their stuff. So that's what made things a little bit awkward there. Which is what happens. Like the Delver matchup, I think that I'm favored, but it's definitely very, very close. And yeah. Like basically whoever's on the play just has the tempo advantage, and it's really tough to out-tempo Delver while being on the draw. It's very important to make sure that your line drops are basics and stuff like that, but... And even my opponent's Delver spent a long time without flipping. If their Delver had flipped earlier, which they should have been able to do, and they just fucked up with that Brainstorm that they cast. But yeah, sounds fine. You think you're favored against Delver, you are not. Yeah, exactly. That's something that's very common. Everybody thinks that they're favored against Delver. That's why Delver is so good. It's because it doesn't really have any bad matchups. But not in the Amulet way, where you say that it doesn't have bad matchups, but you actually do have bad matchups. No. The Delver deck can literally win every matchup. What are we playing against? Mull to 5. Windswept Heath, find a drop. Infect? Timur Lever is the format gatekeeper. Yeah, I mean it's the best deck in the format for a reason, right? It's the best deck in the format for a reason, and the reason is that it's pretty fucking good. Okay. I'm not gonna Seen It for Arbor because I think it's more important for me to Seen It for Reclaimer. Oh damn, it was Infect. Well, now I definitely wish I had Seen It for what's his name? Can I go get my reclaimer, please? Another days. Okay. Guess I can't. I might be dead here if they have the combo. Invigorate plus Berserk. Three. We're definitely blocking, so I'm thinking what I'm gonna be doing with this SnowNath. I guess I want to copy their trop for field purposes. 100% blocking here though. Pog. So I guess we're gonna get Reclaimer now. And I'm gonna get 4/4. I did an apparition there because I think it's more important to save the apparition for a potential light agent. Library. That's also something that we can apparition. Apparition. Gonna kill you, dude. Hell yeah. There's a Valakut. Your dude is dead now. It's coming in for 6. I think we got him. I think I'm favored to win. Yes, yes, I would agree with that statement. Wastelands, cool, Path, Knuckle. Oof. Trucker can go. Prime time out. Apparition. Definitely Silence is interesting in this kind of deck. When I was playing, I think I won a couple of them. When I was playing Maverick, I always used to love bringing this in because it means that if your opponent is spending mana to boost their dude, that means that they actually cannot protect it. So you're basically always taking 1, unless they have like Pendelhaven or Noble Hierarchs or something like that. One second, I'm gonna close the window, there's some noise. Alright. Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. I think I'm gonna keep this hand. It also means that you can't get comboed out of nowhere. Mono white cards. How is the math against Snoko? Well, usually once you get, if you manage to get Field of the Dead going, they actually have no way to kill you. As in, they legit cannot kill. They have like maybe 1 or 2 trophies in their entire deck, and that's it. Yeah, also when you say that everybody would play Delver, play style goes playstyle and play experience go a huge way in Legacy. They go a really, really long way, so it's pretty logical that everybody wouldn't play Delver. For the same reason that nobody plays the best deck, always the best deck in Modern either, right? I guess that now that we drew Reclaimer, we don't really need to path this dude. I think I'm gonna path on upkeep anyway. Mostly because we already have an apparition, which is an answer to a blighted agent. They forced pitching the blighted agent. Well, that's super aggro. Force pitching blighted agent to protect their Glistener Elf. That is so aggressive. Why? Like, I literally have a 1-2 that's roadblocking them. Like, they already have no good attacks. I'm still afraid of another Blighted Agent, so I think I'm going to... I think I'm going to play a library here and just pass the turn. Guess I don't want F6 because they might daze this and I have to fetch. Brainstorm is fine. Problem for me with Delver is that you feel so helpless when you listen. Yeah, I mean, but that's been historically correct. And even that is the least correct right now that it has ever been, right? Because of cards like Arcanist and Oko. Both of those cards can get you out of really dicey situations. Both of those cards are pretty fucked up. Here we're just gonna pay everything. Like, it's not like it matters really against the Glistener Elf deck. It's my Dryad. No reason to attack, but we can make this a 3-4 if we need to. There's no reason to get got. So 2 of our basics are the bad basics. So I think just put this on top, we pay 4 here. We do white, white, and 1. We apparition the Pine Needle. And now we go ham with Valakut. For speech in Brainstorm. Okay. So we do the same thing next turn. I might have cut Knight of Autumn. I didn't. I'm so smart. At this point, it feels like literally the only way that I can lose this game is to a Blighted Agent and my opponent drawing the nuts immediately after. So just gonna be saving up these Swords to Plowshares for if that happens. But I think that we just win here. Yep. Infect. Get arrow, make a bunch of zombies. No, there's no need for that. I was just going to Night of Autumn for SnowNath for Night of Autumn, and then we just Valakut them to death. So I wanted to keep the fetch lands in play because they represent Valakut triggers. I wonder if Infect still is a good deck. I remember Tom Ross just completely obliterating everybody with Infect back in the day. Those were the times. Tom Ross just killing it in the SCG Tour. He was so great to watch. I mean, I guess he is. But now there's no more SCG Tour. Feels bad, man. Is the Knuckle against Dredge only other early matchup? Sorry for the stupid question. No, it's not a stupid question. There's no such thing. Over 9,000 stuffs, 14 months with a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much for the continued support, Stabs. You need to still let me know when you want me to play the Vile Herder deck. You can PM me or just let me know. But yeah, thank you so much for the continued support, my friend. Good into Amulet for watching everybody crush with it in the SCG Tour. Yep. A lot of people did. Do it up whenever it's good for you. Okay. Okay. Maybe we can do it. Maybe we can do it tomorrow. Might be able to do it tomorrow. Yeah, the Tabernacle is still a card that I'm testing. Rockstacker Stan. It's definitely not a card that I consider necessary to play. In fact, when I played this deck over the weekend, I did not play Knuckle. And to answer your question, it's against Dredge, Hogak, those kind of decks. And also, it's pretty good against Elves. That's the other one. That is the other one. Very often against Edge, you need to kind of pair it with Wasteland. So against Wasteland, against Elves, I'm going to be bringing in both Knuckle and Wasteland. But yeah, Knuckle is definitely not a card that you need to play in order to play the deck. And even in Magic Online, Knuckle is, whoa, 26 ticks? That's a lot more than I was expecting. Damn. When I got this Tabernacle, it was like 4 tickets or something. Yikes. So SnowNath accepted that it was a good card for Reclaimer decks and then did a mental double take 10 seconds later when I remembered it was in Model Legal. Oh yeah. Yep. SnowNath, not Modern Legal, and for good reason. Honestly, after playing this deck in Legacy, unfortunately I don't think that they will level and ban SnowNath in Modern. It's really fucking good. Like, it's really, really, really good. The fact that early in the game you get your ramp or your Reclaimer, even if Dryad Arbor were also banned, I think that SnowNath would still be a little bit too good for Modern. Thank you for the follow, King Ginger. Still need to brew that Pioneer deck. I'm a little slow on the process, but I'm back to working normal hours at work now, so I'll be around more. Awesome. Happy to hear, Stabs. Okay, what's going on today? Surprised not to see Mox Diamond this type of deck. Well, Mox Diamond kind of plays directly against your plan of having lands into play, right? Because not only you don't have a land in your hand anymore that you could have played, but now you do have the mana, but you don't have the land, and there's just no room for it. I don't think. This deck is closer to Maverick than to Green-White Depths or something like that, which is where you would want to play Mox Diamond because you want to combo quickly. This deck doesn't want to combo quickly. Also, Mox Diamond 2 for 1 in yourself, and then, you know, having Oof in your deck is not the best combo that I've heard of. I have heard of better combos, like this one, for example. This is a good combo. Wow, 5 minutes and 40 seconds of waiting. Does somebody in chat want to jump into the queue so we can play another match? Does somebody want to jump into the queue and hook me up with a game? So we don't have to continue waiting here. This is brutal. Pro Legacy queue. The worst part is like the Legacy queue has been fine. Like there's 560 players. That's a solid amount of players. I guess we can't see without joining. I guess Modern has twice as many and Pioneer has... how many? 270? Yikes. How the mighty have fallen. Remember when everybody played Pioneer, chat? Remember that time? Remember when I was the last Modern streamer, chat? Remember those days? What is Pioneer? Pioneer is a format like Tiny Leaders, or what was the other one? What was the other format that started for a second and then like immediately died because it got no support? Frontier, that one was the one. Try rejoining. Okay, we can rejoin. Maybe it's superstition. It might be superstition. Like it's always quick for me as well. A lot of Legacy players may be doing the Mana Traders thing. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Fran showing off how many points he has by immediately dropping multiple leagues. They give you back your points, Iceman. I honestly don't have that many points. At one point I have like 3,000-ish. And I have been doing not so well lately. I have like 1,800. Ugh, gross. Yesterday we 0-3 dropped the league and then immediately 5-0, so I guess we kind of made up a little bit there. We're playing against Matthew Book. This is a fine keep though. I have no idea what Matt Book has been playing lately. He has won events with... He has won events with 4 color alone. We have Ramen up here, so I'm gonna try to go that route. That's a different Ozymandias at 17. Oh, okay. Well, good to know. Didn't know that. See, you've dropped the Alarm Skull and have 4 green Zenith. Is it because you don't need to fish up white creatures? No, Showagon, it's because it's a different format. This is Legacy. This is a different format, so trust me, if I could play Zenith in Modern, I would be playing Zenith in Modern. We're playing against Show and Tell. Oh yeah, primetime in hand. Let's go. Love it. Reclaimer. I guess we can do both. I guess we could get dazed here. Maybe this was a little bit careless. Savannah. We'll play our Reclaimer. Using strictly the guys in the more brutal format pros. Exactly. Ah, fuck. They just have it. That sucks. How many lines do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be 5 and 6. Ugh. So close. We're probably just gonna die here. I guess we don't just die to an Emrakul. They chose to not shuffle, so we're probably fucked. Preordained top bottom. One bottom, one top. Okay, so this is probably just the win here. Yeah, they just do shared summons. Okay, this is our absolute worst matchup. This matchup is basically unwinnable for us, which is really unfortunate. But we got some techs going on, so hopefully they do something. But yeah, this matchup is basically unwinnable for us. Doesn't get any worse than this deck. Hurricane Shan, thank you for the follow. I definitely have a good cyber card. Yeah, but they're not good enough, Pokimoki, unfortunately. They are definitely not good enough. Were you running Mind Break Trap in the Cyber at one point? I was, yes. Probably won the Apprentice. What's the Apprentice? The Apparition, you mean? It only answers like Oko and stuff like that. But we don't really die to the Oko, we die to the Show and Tell. Yeah, this is 4 or less. Knight of Autumn is my answer to their thingy. I guess that they might actually have back to basics and shit. All right, Stabs, thank you so much for hanging out. They're probably gonna have some like Okos and shit. They might have Udo, so maybe I should leave in the bog for Udo purposes. Vintage Cube, I once put an Emrakul with Show and Tell, then opponent put in Venser, that sucked. Yeah, Show and Tell is not very good in Cube. Because your opponent gets to put something else as well. I think I'm supposed to SnowNath for Reclaimer because this protects me. Like, if they Omniscience, they will need to have exactly Emrakul already in hand. And they still cannot show and tell here. They could have Submerge though, I guess, or something like that. Last time I played Show and Tell and Give, yeah, it's not very good. I mean, you are. It is risque. It is risque. Once Upon a Time is nice because it kind of says to my opponent, well, if they don't do anything, like I am representing Force of Vigor, but if they don't do anything, I'm still doing something like, oh yeah, I mean, I could Once Upon a Time here if I wanted to. If you're gonna do some meme stuff in queue, play Eureka. Yep, sounds like a better option. I guess I'm gonna fetch first. Oh, I should have Once Upon a Time first, I think. Should have Once Upon a Time first to play around Days. That was kind of bad. Sure, I guess we get the prime time. If they have an answer to Thalia, that's a big problem. Echoing Truth. Shit. Well, the good thing at least is that now we just get to put Thalia into play, right? So it's not the end of the world. And we probably just have to. If they have Emrakul, we are kind of fucked. But this means that we don't just die to a combo. Gristle Daddy. That sucks. So they need to have found exactly Emrakul right there. Or I guess they have one more look. Okay, so now we force this. Okay, pitch in prime time. And now we activate Reclaimer, we go get Caracas. We bounce Gristle Daddy, we swing for lethal. Yeah, and I don't want them to gain 7. I don't want them to gain 7. Just Reclaimer getting Caracas seems a lot better, right? Oh, the plays, exactly. Top tier plays. I'm gonna play the Thalia first, so if my opponent wants to do something. Yeah, now they actually can't do anything, so we just bounce this. Swing for 3. All right. Force coming in real clutch there. Floor's coming in real clutch there. God damn. Actually, I think that I like Path to Exile better than Swords to Plowshares. Is that crazy? No, it's not crazy. It's actually correct, I think. Changes, changes, changes. I don't love the tracker. Maybe another library is better. Again, they might have Uro, so maybe I should be keeping Bog in. I think that... Blech. I mean, okay. So one's up on first. Here's my Reclaimer. Soleil, is that not banned Legacy yet? No, not just yet, somehow. Hopefully soon. And now the question is gonna be, do we library here, or do we Reclaimer? Yasharn is actually not bad, huh? I think that we have to library, unfortunately. Wait, do we? No, actually, I'm gonna Reclaimer because we might have to go with Caracas. So what Yasharn does, which is pretty cute, is if my opponent goes for a Greaser brand, they actually cannot draw, which is kind of hilarious. So hopefully they don't have the actual combo that they were hoping to, like cast a Greaser brand and go from there. Yep. The pig is here. Yep, unfortunately that one we can't beat. that's the one that we cannot beat. Okay. We could have been in the other one, but not that one. Feels bad. Nothing we could have really done though. I don't think you want to Caracas that one. No, that's probably not great. It's probably not a great line. Yeah, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. I have won by Caracas in an Emrakul of after attacks on a trigger. Like after attacks, Annihilator trigger on the stack, bounce your Emrakul from a sneak attack. I have done that with Maverick, because one thing that's pretty funny when Emrakul attacks you is that right after the Emrakul attacks you, your Knight of the Reliquary becomes really, really big. It just kind of happens. I don't know why. So yeah, I bounced the Emrakul to not take lethal, and then I swung back for for lethal with my Knight. It was like a 12-12 or something. Pretty funny. Yep. Keep this hand. Ugh, not again. Just be Snow. Just don't be Don't be sneak again. Don't be show and tell again. They chose to not shuffle, which of course means bad news for us. They could be on Poke Pile, which means we might get stifled, which I'm not particularly stoked about. It's never Poke Pile. It was Poke Pile in the showcase. Poke. Not with these land arts. That is the best answer. That's awesome. So this has to mean that they have Dead of Winter. Because they didn't force pitching Force of Negation. So we definitely want to be doing this main phase. One time Meng was streaming Legacy and I called that his opponent wasn't sneaking show based on the island art. Not only was I correct, but Meng suddenly showed Chad his paper sneaker show deck with the same island art. That's hilarious. Wow. That's some next level shit right there. That is awesome. So my opponent is not very much into this whole reading cards thing. Reading cards confirmed OP. Seen it for 3. You got a neuro. Okay, now that I know that they're actually playing Zenith, that means that we can super overextend here if we want to. So this means that they need to have a Palau. Plains. Valakut. That. Valakut that. Remember when my opponent could have answered my Elvish Reclaimer, but they didn't? Those were some good times. Legacy is a format for players who just want to play Yoko once upon. Yep. It's basically what it is. It was the ball one from Zendikar. That's hilarious. Wow. They make food. Like, yeah, that reclaimer guy is not good enough. I'm not gonna answer it. Everything's fine here. Everything is perfectly fine. Nothing to see. Nothing to see here. I got this. You got Cine for 4. What are you gonna do with your 4 CMC creature opponent? I really don't understand why wouldn't... I don't know, why wouldn't you answer this Reclaimer? Like, why wouldn't you do it? Do they have a plow? Is that what's going on? Like, why would you not answer the Reclaimer? Like, that makes no sense to me. The reason to not answer the Dryad, obviously, it's because of how layers work. All my lands still remain all land types, don't ask me why. But if you Elk a Dryad, the effect still... You cannot play an additional land drop every turn, but the other effect does stay in play. I have no idea why. And... so I understand why they didn't do it there, but... how about the other guy, though? Page 7 was the same way, yeah, I still have no idea why, but yeah, I knew that it worked the same. There's no... You can explain it to me, but I don't know. It's so illogical to me. I think I'm just gonna cut the Thalias here. Seemed like the worst card in my deck. Layers, don't ask me anymore. Yeah, that's exactly that's my approach exactly. It's just like, yeah, layers. Why does this layers? Don't ask me to explain you why, just layers. I don't think we can keep this, unfortunately. We just lose to too many things. Better. Much, much better. I'm gonna bin that thing. I feel like I'm interested. I feel like I'm interested in playing around back to basics. It's probably gonna get plowed here. It doesn't. My opponent is not at all into this whole respecting this card of the plan, you know? Oh yeah, that guy is a 1-drop. There's no way that it's ever going to do anything threatening. With the History Channel Aliens guy, yeah, exactly. That's exactly my thought. I always imagine the same thing. Try to get that engine rolling here. So this has to mean that they're short on lands, right? Like they went turn 1 Snow Covered Plains, turn 2 Underground Sea on your end step Brainstorm. This has to mean that they are short on lands. Wow, you actually know the real reason why that happens? That's some next level shit. Knowing how layers actually work, that's the real 5-head, you know? Knight of the Reliquary. Reclaimer better than Knight. Myth or reality? So opponent has perfect mana now. We're still looking fine here. Still looking mighty fine here. I guess I should have gotten a basic there. I did say that I was supposed to play around back to basics. Wait. So what I can do here is I can play second Reclaimer. We can do second Reclaimer, SnowNath for Arbor, and that, yeah, that just means that Field of the Dead becomes active, so I think I'm into that. They don't even activate Knight at end of turn. I guess they like the top cards of their deck. What do you got, OP? OmniTell. You think you're so cool with your OmniTell and shit? You think you're so cool. Just get basic planes. Let's get Flagstones. Trigger field. Oh. It's pretty sweet. Well, if this resolves, that's kind of just game over, right? So they have to force this. My opponent has never, ever respected a Reclaimer in their entire life. Suba this one. Sure. It's cool how my opponent used to have a board state. Let me teach you how to legacy, OP. Let me teach you how to legacy. I mean, it could be that they have Dead of Winter. I don't think it's correct for me to play around Dead of Winter, though. Not out of my opponent's deck. Even if they do, it's not even that bad, right? Like, I have an active field, I have a Tireless Tracker and a Skyclave operation. Like, it's not even that bad. Yeah, like, they just Dead of Winter, and we're still very much in this game. Instant board state. I'm gonna go get Raminap. Remember when I didn't have a board state, chat? Remember that time? Remember that time I did not have a board state? You have another one? Abrupt Decay. Snow-covered forest. Snow-covered plains. You got it. Every step of the game, my opponent has been super far behind. Even as they were hitting the best cards at every... they were hitting the best cards at every step of the way, and we still are pretty far ahead. Funny how they actually did release Strider and Uncle so close to each other while their interactions together are so strange. It really is wild, right? They were supposed to be legal even, right? They were supposed to be legal in the same format. Well, we really whiffed there. Really whiffed there. But it's okay. I guess maybe I should have wastelanded there. If I wasteland, I limit the amount of stuff that they can do. Yeah, it would have been a lot better to wasteland there. Sure. I guess that was actually never mind, we're fine. I mean, it was a mistake. It was a mistake. I could have just Caracas'd it, and then I used Wasteland to kill their Caracas. Is this operation designed to beat Uro? I mean, it's designed to beat many things. And it does so fairly well. I still think I want to save the apparitions to answer Rokos. But yeah, like wasting that Swords to Plowshares. It's not. We don't need it. We don't need the Swords to Plowshares, but it was still a little bit wasteful there. We still just wasted it for no real reason. Opponent is cantripping hard. Cantripping hard. So it's like a match of Modern. Yeah, but with Burner Lance and cantrips. Yeah, exactly. It's actually a lot better because in Legacy, there's no cryptic command, right? If we were playing Modern, my opponent would actually be ahead right now because they would have an Uro, and not only they would have an Uro, but they would have stuff like Field of Ruin to answer my my Field of the Deads, and not only that, but they would also have access to Cryptic Command and Mystic Sanctuary. Exactly, so my opponent would actually be ahead here, but because this is Legacy, they are super far behind instead. And we know that they don't have Mystic Sanctuary because when they escaped Uro the first time, they exiled the Dead of Winter, so that's probably like the only card that can help them here. And they didn't do it. Like here they gain up to 11, like that's fine, like they still just die. In fact, they are actually dead on board right now. If they're just playing back the Uro, they're actually just dead on board right here. Because there's a Caracas in play, and I have lots of power worth of zombies. Yeah, I honestly don't know what my opponent was looking for there. I don't see the point of continuing to play there if you are already dead on board. But yeah, that is basically my experience against the snow decks. As long as you draw reasonably well and you get your field going, you just completely steamroll them. The difference is when you find a not particularly functional draw or a slow draw, and your opponent does the opposite. To be fair, my opponent was playing one of the Green Sun SnowNath versions of Snow, which has less removal and less counter magic. So we, of course, as you saw, we don't care whatsoever about their mid-range plan because ours is just so much better. But it's just Field of the Dead, you know, like we are a pretty solid Field of the Dead deck, and that kind of deck just cannot really beat Field of the Dead that's active for too long. Why did I steal the spotlight from Minotaurs on Sunday? I felt a little bit bad. But it's not my fault that the Minotaurs the Minotaurs deck were not doing as well as I am. See a way that no Wasteland Fair decks can ever beat Field of the Dead. It includes a lot of luck. It includes a lot of luck and an early Oko very often. So I control decks up for Oko trophy over the K. Yeah, because of Field of the Dead and because of Caracas. Because Caracas, as we just saw what my opponent's win cons were, and they had Uro and OmniTell, both of which just get Caracased into Oblivion, so it's actually not easy for them to just beat the Caracas. Yeah, Scott, we're doing a bunch of Legacy because of the Mana Trader series. Sand is not very good. It makes a bunch of mana starting turn 2. But we're on the draw, so we probably need something better than this. Unless we're playing against... Like, there are some decks that I would keep this hand against, but on the blind, like, this is just so much better. We bottom the pig? Yeah, we bottom the pig. Does anyone find the Minotaur deck funny? It is a funny deck. Yeah, that's a good chalice. It's a pretty good chalice. Usually we don't care too much about chalice, but that's because of the way that our hand is set up. That's a chalice that hurts a lot. Lodestone Golem. Well, this seems like Steel Stompy. Shit, okay. I mean, I think we just need lands here, so... We need lands and we can't really afford to play into Wasteland. That's brutal. That's really strong. That's a very, very strong opener from our opponent here. Very strong opener from them. Thorn of Amethyst. Jeez. Deck is being very unhelpful right now. Yeah, kind of. Ballista, Hangerback. So we take 5 this turn. We lose to Wasteland, but this Apparition actually gives me a route to victory. So what we do is we just Apparition the Chalice, we chomp the Lodestone Golem. And then we just plow. We're taking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 this turn. It's not great. Next turn we jump here, we take 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's exactly lethal. Ugh. Gross. Well, I guess we're just dead if my opponent attacks. They're at 10, we're still winning. That's the attitude. That's the attitude, Scott. Hell yeah. Wait, more business? Well, I guess that's not that much business. Yeah, I think we're just dead. We can apparition here. But then we just take lethal. I mean, I guess I'm gonna do it. No, not that one. Yes, this one. There we go. Feels like we should have an okay post-board matchup. But yeah, my opponent's start was absolutely brutal, right? And that's probably game right there. Wasteland is gross. Yep. Okay. So we want Wasteland. We want another apparition. We want Force of Vigor. Thalia, you can get out of here. Library can also leave. Oof is of course insane. We probably do want Knuckle here, huh? We probably want the 4th Plow as well. Sure. Definitely keeping this. Yeah, this hand is really good. So we get to Reclaimer on 1. Turn 2, we probably sack the Caracas to get Flagstones going. And we already have Valakut for whenever we're ready to drop the Dryad. We also have Knight of Autumn. This hand seems excellent. They're gonna need something like Dismember on 1. Looks like they have it. That's why they're tanking. V for Victory is my opponent's name. I'm playing out the Caracas here because I want to destroy it. Like, that's the land that I want to sack, is because I want to be playing around Wasteland. At this point, nothing that they play matters, I don't think. Unless they play like 6 spells in the same turn or something. Yeah, this Chalice is completely irrelevant. Chalice is completely irrelevant. Yeah, we're just good. I always thought this was a cool deck. Never thought it was particularly great or anything, but It always seemed like a fun thing to be doing in the format. We have SnowNath to go get Ramina in case my opponent wastelands my Valakut. And we just have all of our bases covered. Reclaimer is a 3/4. All of our bases are officially covered. Sure. Weird card. This gets... Oh no, a construct. It has to be a construct, so it doesn't get any artifact. This seems worth doing. It clears my opponent's side of the board, leaves them with nothing. And they need to start using their stuff to develop a board. They have to use their mana to develop a board. Let's say tutor for Ballista. Yeah, not a great tutor either. Sure, get a lodestone golem. You get a lodestone golem. And now that lodestone golem is dead. Pew! I'm doing this right now to play around Wasteland. My opponent is going to be forced into Wastelanding both my field and my Valakut, and then we just SnowNath for Aminab and we just kill them. It's a pretty good draw. It's a pretty good draw. All right, game number 3. I guess because this configuration is fine. See if they can have a not-so draw like the one that they have in game 1. That seems like the only way that my opponent can keep up with what I'm doing. They just need to have a really, really good draw. They kept 7. Sure. Would love to draw a green source. How's Shadows working out? It's been medium so far. Not particularly backbreaking, really. I guess I can use Vesuva to fix my mana, so let's do that. Things looking fine for now. Well, that's pretty good. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world, but definitely quite strong. As long as they don't have another lodestone, we should be fine. And the best draw is probably any untapped source. Once we blow up the chalice, their house of cards kind of falls up. Excuse me. Their house of cards kind of falls apart. That's interesting. They didn't uptake Blast Zone. Didn't uptake Blast Zone. That's very interesting. What are they planning on blowing up? And why are they not attacking with this thing? 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's Apparition. I think I'm actually playing Knuckle. Just to tax their mana? Okay, now they're uptaking Blast Zone, but now they can't crack because of Knuckle. And now the points of damage that they miss because of not attacking with the factory are gonna really count. Mud is just mostly dumpster fire this day. I mean, yeah, it kind of looks like it. You're just hoping that your chalice that you hopefully play on turn 1 is good enough. And that's just... It just doesn't seem like what you want to be doing in Legacy. I think I'm chomping this Lodestone Golem. Saves me 5 life. I have no interest in paying the mana for this apparition. Like, paying a mana for the 2/2 doesn't make too much sense to me. I'm definitely paying 1 for the oof. But yeah, this is looking pretty solid here. Oh, they have another chalice? Fuck. Well, that sucks. That really fucking sucks. Yeah, we were fine until the second chalice. That one really stings. That one really stings. I mean, I guess we can draw Primetime. I guess we can't cast Primetime, never mind. What are we looking for? Not that one. We're just dead, right? Wow, I can't believe they had the second chalice. Holy shit. Now, we had everything rolled up. We had literally everything rolled up, and they had the second chalice. That's so unlucky. That's so unlucky. I guess I could have double blocked on the Lodestone Golem. I guess I could have double blocked on the Lodestone. When I chomped with the Apparition. Dio Grasso, thank you so much for becoming a member of the Primetime Stronghold. Welcome. And hope you are enjoying the content. Wow. I would imagine we win that match 80 times out of 100. Not like I'm too concerned about that deck, you know, having beaten me, but okay, so what do we want to try now? Arasta was one of the things that I wanted to give a try to, and I wanted to do something like this. Should probably splash for Dak. Nice, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, Chase, Dak grows my Elvish Reclaimer, right? So you just plus on Dak, you make your Reclaimer a 3/4. That's some pretty good synergy. That's some pretty good piece of synergy right there. Should be on content for a long time now. Do you have any side guide for the Modern Warfare Reclaimer? Yeah. Go to my Discord. Go to my Discord and link your Twitch and Discord accounts, and you're gonna get access to the sub-only channels, and you're going to be able to find the cyber guide there. I have updated one for this past weekend, so it's pretty up to date. Should we play something else instead of library? What can we play instead of library? Or are the two, is the second library just fine? Don't ever ask that question again. Alright, I guess library is good, huh? Okay. I'm gonna try out this 75 now for the next one. I'm gonna take a short break, go to the restroom, update the stream deck and everything. So I will be right back, folks. Don't go anywhere. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for checking out the video. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. And I will be back for some more Legacy action. Thank you.